Welcome to Baldy's Thoughts, where truth is unchained and the mind is set free. Tonight we take a journey into the book that shapes nations, dictates laws, and fuels the righteous. But what if the book itself bears the marks of man? What if within its pages lie contradictions that shake its foundation? This is not an attack. This is an examination, a call for clarity, for reason, for truth beyond blind belief. So before you judge, before you defend, before you dismiss, listen, because if the word is divine, should it not speak with one voice? Let's get into it. The Infallible Book of Men, a righteous reflection upon the contradictions of Scripture. Behold the book that rules nations, binds men's tongues, and dictates the fate of souls. It is the sword of the righteous, the refuge of the faithful. But is it without flaw? Nay, for within its pages lies contradiction upon contradiction, and those who wield it as law must first reckon with its errors. Thus, let us reason together, not in scorn nor in mockery, but in wisdom. Let us lay bare the contradictions that whisper from the pages, not to shame the faithful, but to awaken the thoughtful. If the word be perfect, why then is it at war with itself? If it be divine, why then does it err as men do? The beginning, twice told. In the book of Genesis, we read of the grand creation, where the heavens and the earth were formed in 6 days. The beasts of the field, the fowls of the air, and all creatures were made before man, and at last, in the image of God, man and woman were formed together. Genesis chapter 1:31. But turn the page, and lo, another tale unfolds. In this second telling, Genesis 2:4-25, man is made first, before the beasts, before the fowls, before even the woman. How can one story bear 2 beginnings, each at odds with the other? Noah's cargo, 2 by 2 or 7 by 7. When the floods were to cover the earth, was it not commanded that Noah take 2 of every kind upon the ark? So says Genesis 6:19-20. Yet in Genesis 7:2-3, the word changes, and 7 pairs of clean animals must be taken. Shall we say that the Lord changed his mind? Or shall we say that men's hands wrote and rewrote, as men often do, the sins of the father, passed down or paid alone? The righteous thunder from Exodus 25 proclaims that the father's iniquities shall be visited upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generations. Yet the prophet Ezekiel, in his wisdom, speaks another truth in Ezekiel 18:20. The son shall not bear the iniquity of the father, neither shall the father bear the iniquity of the son. How then shall justice be measured? Shall the innocent suffer for the wicked, or shall each stand accountable for his own sins? David's temptation, by God or by Satan. In the days of King David, was it not the Lord himself who moved him to number the people, as written in 2 Samuel 24:1? Yet turn to 1 Chronicles 21:1, and there it is written that Satan, and not the Lord, provoked David to this deed. Who then shall we believe? Did the Lord tempt his own anointed, or did the adversary lay the snare? The genealogy of Christ. 2 fathers, 1 Joseph. And lo, in the Gospel of Matthew, we find that Jacob begat Joseph, the husband of Mary, the earthly father of Jesus. Matthew chapter 1:16. Yet in the Gospel of Luke, we read that Joseph was the son of Heli, Luke 3:23. How can one man be born of 2 fathers? And if the line of descent be so uncertain, what then shall be said of its divine ordination? Judas the betrayer, the death twice told. When Judas, filled with regret, cast down the silver at the feet of the chief priests, did he not then go and hang himself, as written in Matthew 27:5? But in the Acts of the Apostles, a different fate is recorded. Acts 1:18, wherein Judas falls headlong, his body bursting asunder, his bowels gushing forth. Shall a man die 2 deaths? Or shall we say that the hands that wrote were not guided by one Spirit? Faith or works, the path to salvation. Shall we be justified by faith alone, as Paul declares in Romans 3:28? Or must we show our faith by our works, as James insists in James 2:24? If the word be one, how then can the path be divided? The return of Christ, a thief in the night, or a vision for all? The book of Revelation speaks with two tongues. In one place it is written that every eye shall see him when he returns, Revelation 1:7. Yet in another it is said that he shall come like a thief in the night, when none shall expect him, Revelation 16:15. How then shall we await him? With open eyes or in startled wonder? And now, O ye who raise high the book, who cast down judgment upon your brethren, who wield scripture as a rod to smite and a yoke to burden, answer me this: if this book be the flawless word of the Almighty, then why do its pages war against themselves? If it be the voice of God, then why does it echo with the faltering of men? For there are 99 sects, each declaring the other to be in error, each holding the same book, yet reading it through different eyes. And still they press upon the weary, commanding obedience to a law they themselves interpret as they see fit. But if the book be divine, should it not speak with one voice? Should its truth not stand firm as the mountains, unshaken by the winds of men's opinions? Let those who claim righteousness pause and consider. If the hand of man has erred, then let not those who thump the book with fervor be so quick to condemn others with it. If contradictions abound, let humility take the place of pride, and let understanding temper judgment. For the book is of men, and men err. Yet men claim it is divine, infallible, and absolute. But if one man writes a falsehood, and another man believes it, does that falsehood become truth? Nay. So before one declares the word unshaken, let him first answer for the fractures within. Before one dares condemn another, let him first reckon with the book he holds. For the greatest error is not in the writing, but in the blindness of those who refuse to see. Thus ends the reading, and thus begins the reflection. Let those with ears to hear, hear. Let those with eyes to see, see. You've heard the contradictions, the fractures within the text that so many hold sacred. But the question remains, did God make these mistakes, or did man? If the book is the flawless word of the Almighty, why do its pages war against themselves? If one truth stands above all, why do 99 denominations claim their truth is the only way? It is not for me to tell you what to believe, but it is for you to think, question, and seek beyond what is given. The greatest mistake is not in the writing, but in the blindness of those who refuse to see. If this made you think, if you felt challenged or enlightened, drop a comment, share your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe. The conversation is far from over. This is Brian for Baldy's Thoughts, where we think beyond belief. Until next time, stay aware.